In other words, getting rid of these nuisance lawsuits, which not only cost insurance premiums, but they also drive up the standard of care, which instead of a headache being, a person being seen and diagnosed and relatively simple, that $100 exam turns into a several $1,000 exam with MRIs and everything else. So we need to do that. I also believe that it should be like, well, we need a lot more competition. Right now, you can turn on the television, you see the Geico commercial, you can buy your car insurance all over the country. You can't shop across state lines right now. We need much more competition to drive down the cost. There's a thing called associated health plans that would allow, like, my barber or my florist, who might have 2 or 3 employees, for them to band with maybe 1,000 other barbers or 1,000 other florists, and then them go into the insurance market as a group. You get a much lower rate. So those are the free market solutions that I think would work and that we really need to look at.
Could you think of a lesser-known issue, or are you sort of mostly focusing on the major?
No, I think that's an excellent question, and I compliment you on asking it. I think I've been asked about every question in the world in the last year.
Yeah.
But I would say this. I think one of the things that we really need to take notice of is that more and more, every year, every Congress, the agencies like the EPA, the National Labor Relations Board, all of these agencies who are not elected by anybody, these are bureaucrats in the government, they're taking more and more power all the time. And I believe that those agencies need to be reined in. Those decisions need to be made by elected officials, by Congress, so that, when people get upset about them, then they've got somebody to look at directly and blame. But we've got the EPA now looking at dust on farms, and it's just wild. And so I think that's a real threat. The system of government that we have right now, is that you have elected representatives. The more at the local level, the better. Okay. But wherever you have elected representatives, they need to be the ones making the decision, not some fascist bureaucrat in Washington. That you don't have any recourse against. And so I think one of the issues that we don't talk enough about is reining those agencies in and making them accountable.
And it may be a little too early, but if you could pick a dream presidential candidate for 2012, do you know who it would be?
I think that's really, a difficult question. I don't think anyone has any idea who the candidate will be. I believe it will be somebody that will all of a sudden rise to national prominence, similar to how President Obama did.
Yes.
A few years before the election, nobody had ever heard of him. I used to, in coming home, I would go through Chicago many times, and he would be on the plane. And of course, then he was, just a regular guy. He was a senator that was just traveling. Nobody bothered him. Nobody, And then all of a sudden, he rose to prominence. But I think it'll be somebody like that on the Republican side that just kind of catches fire.
Well, thank you, Congressman.
You take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.